At 74, he's the oldest of the presidential candidates, appealing to the youngest of voters. Bernie Sanders is described by some as the curmudgeon of Democrats.
But what we are addressing right now is a real threat of oligarchy in America.
The Vermont senator is locked into a battle of delegates for the Democratic nomination against former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He's losing the delegate count by a lot. Clinton has more pledged delegates and superdelegates, and she has more overall nationwide votes. Yet the self-proclaimed Democratic socialist has stayed in the race, and he's been winning.
So when we began, we were 50, 60, 70 points behind in the polls behind Secretary Clinton, and nobody really thought this campaign would go very far.
Sanders first announced his run for the presidency just over a year ago. He was virtually unknown outside of his home state, with nearly 60% of voters saying they'd never heard of him. Since then, his rants against Wall Street and capitalist greed have earned him victories in several states, confusing some and frustrating others, earning him the title as a zombie candidate.
I would describe him as a zombie candidate, but it is difficult to tell him to drop out when he is still winning states. He just won the last 3, and he is still winning thousands, millions of votes, and he is still winning delegates.
Sanders won last week in West Virginia and has been enjoying a campaign buoyed by young Democratic voters and social media. Earlier this year in Iowa, Sanders beat Clinton among voters aged 17 to 29 by 70 percentage points, even though he narrowly lost the state.
We're a handful of billionaires and Wall Street and multinational corporations controlling the economic and political life of this nation. If you don't think that that is what is happening now, you are not paying attention.
He is tapping into something for the Democratic side that is showing that their voters really do care about these issues.
Sanders knows he has a narrow path to victory. He'd need to win a large majority of votes in remaining contested states to have a chance at beating Clinton for his party's nomination. He's toughening his rhetoric by challenging Clinton's electability, but he'll need to do more to sway doubtful voters. Sanders is calling into question whether Clinton can win support from Democrats and independents who are already backing him. He says he'll take his argument all the way to the national convention in July, where he hopes to charm superdelegates for their support. Colin Campbell, TRT World, Washington.